Yeah, so I'm just going to start talking. Apparently, I'm looking at the screen and there is a massive delay. I don't really know why there's such delay. Hopefully, at least this time around, you guys will be able to hear me. So earlier we had Danny from Menachel VE on, and there it was just such a problem. There was no audio from his microphone, and then finally we got audio from his microphone, but then there was no audio from my microphone, so it wound up just being a total cluster bomb. Just not at all how I had anticipated my very first video going. And now, once again, it seems like totally I'm looking over here on OBS. I'm up and running, but I'm looking at my page on YouTube and I don't see my picture. And when I went to go sign in before, it was saying that there was a lot of problems with it. So I'm guessing maybe there's a lot of people live streaming right now because my picture keeps fading in and out where I mean, it looks terrible. I don't know what the heck is going on. Maybe my camera's getting ready to overheat. I have no idea. But, oh, okay, so I got some people in. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining me. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I tried to do a live stream earlier with MVE, but it was terrible. So can everyone hear me? I'm guessing that the audio is real good. Hey, there's Danny from Menachel VE. So hopefully I got everything figured out. I do still see a considerable lag, though. I have to tell you guys the funny story. So Danny and I were doing a test run before we went live on my channel. Now, it's funny because when him and I were speaking just directly on Google Hangouts, I mean, it really seemed like everything was okay. But then he goes to me, oh my God, Tammy, look at the screen. He's like, I just took off my headphones. He's like, I did that like 30 seconds ago. And then we realized, and I'm totally out of focus. I don't know what the heck is going on. Oh, you know what? I can't focus because there's a huge delay. Wait, I have to go back to the other thing. There we go. That's better, right? This delay is going to be... Okay, so anyway, I was in the middle of my funny story. So Danny, it was just hilarious that it was such a delay and there was just a lack of communication because when you're delayed by 20 seconds, it's very difficult to try to communicate to somebody. And then finally people could hear Danny's microphone, but they no longer could hear mine. And I'm like typing to Danny, start talking, like everyone can finally hear you. And he's like, and then he looked over at the comment section. He's like, okay, yay. Okay, all right, they can hear me. But Danny went live on his channel before I went live on mine. And I didn't even realize he had gone live because I kept checking his channel to see if he was there so I could check him out. Okay, so let's see what some of you guys are saying. So I love the sound of your mic. Thank you very much because it took a while to get this thing up and going. The first time that I went on, I was really bummed because I was using the microphone out of the earbuds of my iPhone, the older iPhone. So that was, I mean, I paid a lot of money for this microphone. And then when you set something up, you expect it to work. You don't want it to crap out on you and fail on you. So I know the focus was delayed, Danny. I hope it's better now. It says looks good. It's a weird delay, about 15 seconds when I go live. Yeah, me too, Burns. And you got a really good channel, Burns. I like, you know, you've been doing some inspiring videos lately, which is awesome. Watching from Japan. Hello, Japan. Welcome. How are you guys doing in Japan? I'm in New Jersey, and in case you guys missed the earlier video, I'm one of the states that's shelter in place. So I'm not supposed to go to work or do anything, but I own a skincare company, and I've converted you know, a part of my line to making hand sanitizer. Fortunately, I had enough of the raw ingredients in-house to do that. And basically, so here's the ingredient listing. If you guys want to make your own hand sanitizer, it's very easy. All you need is aloe and at least 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. That's all you need. You mix those two things together. So let's say if you're mixing about, you want to make a cup, which is 8 ounces. You want to make a cup of hand sanitizer. You would use like a less than a third of a cup of aloe, and then you mix in the isopropyl rubbing alcohol and you mix it well together, and then you put it into the end thing, and then you start to shake it, and that is going to give you, that's basically the ingredients of Purell. I mean, people paying so much money for hand sanitizer when you can make it so easy. And I know a lot of people have aloe, they grow aloe in their garden. All you have to do is throw that thing in the blender, mix it all up, get it going together, put it in with isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and you're done. You'll have hand sanitizer. So I'm watching from Nova Scotia. Here from New York. Okay. Hello, New York. I'm in New Jersey. Greetings. It's so weird to see so many of you tune in. And yeah, I have a skincare company. So I own Eclectic Skin Prescriptions, and it's a private label skincare company. So I'm different. Like, let's compare myself to an Estee Lauder, which I'm no comparison to Estee Lauder, but they are a brand name that's recognizable. My company is a private label skincare company, so I sell to dermatologists, plastic surgeons, high-end medical spas, estheticians, and I private label it for them so it looks like their product. So you could be using my product and not know it because it has their label on it, which is good. It helps to market them and in the cosmeceutical industry that they're in, so that's good. Okay, let's not talk about me. Let's see if you guys have any questions for me. Changing a few things in my content to address the needs of my peeps. And this is Burns talking, are dealing with stress and anxiety of these strange times. I agree. I know things can be very stressful. It's when you're in your house for any great amount of time, it's totally stressful. I mean, look at the prisoners who are in jail. They suffer from isolation. It becomes stressful. It becomes depressing. So it's important, even though we are shelter in place, you can get out. You can go outside, talk with your neighbors. Just be at a social distance. They're saying of at least 6 feet. So very interesting fact today. I was talking to a doctor because as far as the statistics go, I'm kind of up in the air. I don't know what to do. Like, do we stay sheltered in, or do we need to start getting out and hoping that we can build, what everybody's talking about, herd immunity? Should we do that? I just want to read a question. Haley, darling, how are you getting credit for your products if it has the other company's label on it? Okay, so I don't get credit for the products. They get credit for the products. As long as they're selling, that's fine with me. I don't need to take credit for the product line. That's not important to me. If it was, I certainly could start my own brand and sell it. But because I have an ethical waiver, I would never sell directly to the public and undercut my customers at all. So I've decided to do that. I mean, of course, that's always something that I could do. I could start my own brand and selling it that way. But I like the fact that because my brand is a true cosmeceutical, it's a true percentages of active ingredients are significantly higher than what you would get in any of the stores like Saks Fifth Avenue or Sephora. I mean, my products they're really, really good. And of course, I've been using them for a very long time. And I'm old. I'm very old. And I smoke, which is probably the worst thing that I can do. I know I have to quit smoking. I know it's terrible for me, but I can't. I'm addicted to it. And I've been smoking. You guys are not going to believe this. I started smoking when I was 8 years old. Now, I wasn't inhaling at 8, but that's when I started smoking. I didn't start inhaling, I think, till I was like 10 or 11. But that's what happens when one of your parents is a smoker. You steal their cigarettes, and all my brothers and I smoke. There's only one sibling I have that doesn't smoke, but the rest of us smoke, and we've been smoking. I've been smoking for 4 decades. So I'm pretty susceptible to this dang virus that's out here. So, okay, year Old, me too. That's right. I'm old. I'll be 50 soon. And it's very frightening, but I feel like, life is what you make it. If you feel like you're old and you act old, you're going to look old. Like I know people that are my age that they're not in good shape at all. They're not active. They don't take care of themselves. And listen, not that smoking is taking care of myself, but at least, I try to stay active and stay busy and try to maintain friendships. Maintain friendships. I think that is, yeah. See, you don't look 55 either, Burns. But yeah, so fortunately, you just got to stay with it. Be active and try to stay healthy as best as you can. So, do we have any questions here? Is it just you, Burns? Everybody else is signed off. I don't even know. This is like the first time that I've actually streamed. Well, I streamed with MVE earlier, but there was so many hiccups with that stream. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I wasn't checking out any of the analytics at all because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to fix that damn stream. There was nothing I can do to make it right. I couldn't figure it out at all. So, I mean, that's just, and it's so weird looking over at my YouTube thing and I'm so far delayed that it's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, Dan is back. So, Dan, I apologize for the earlier live stream. I know that you tried to jump in and say some things, but so Dan, yeah, right. You're 58, but you feel 30. That's how I feel. Sometimes I even feel like I'm still a teenager. I really do. And to be honest with you, considering all the stuff I did when I was a teenager, I'm lucky to be alive. And yep, that's right. Okay, so MVE has joined Unfixable. It was Unfixable. It's something to do. Danny, I think what happened was there is a breakup between the Google Hangouts and OBS to live stream. So we're going to have to find a different platform to use to get together to go on YouTube. We can't use Google Hangouts. Everyone said it's just a nightmare. So, okay. So let's see what Burns said. Oh, actually, everyone is different. Both my parents used to smoke, and I'm glad I didn't take up the habit. I'm glad you didn't take up the habit either. I'm not judging you at all. We all have bad habits. That's very true. We all have bad habits. Can't get made fun of because I smell like cigarettes. Yep, I know. Hey, listen. When I was born, my mother smoked when she was pregnant with me. My mother smoked in the house. My mother smoked at the dinner table. I mean, in the car. But when I was young, they didn't even have baby seats. I remember when my youngest brother came home from the hospital. My mother was just holding him in her arms. There was no baby seats. And we had this huge van. Oh my God, looking back, that thing was a death trap. None of us were strapped into it. We're lucky we made it out of that thing alive. I'll just say that. Yep. Okay. Switcher Studio? Try Switcher. Yeah, you know what the thing about Switcher, though? I think it's strictly iOS. So right now I'm using my Canon M50 and I'm live streaming to OBS and then taking that stream and sending it over to YouTube. And that's how I'm doing it right now. There was a problem with, Danny, I still think it was the Google Hangouts. We got to, as long as we can dip that out, I think we'll be much better. But yeah, other than that, everything is going pretty well in New Jersey. I think I mentioned earlier that my brothers are also going to work. It depends on what you're doing, but they deem certain people like necessary. You have to go to work, obviously, if you're a nurse. But there was a shift in our hospital last night. So this whole time, there really was not that many people in the hospital. But last night was a big difference. Last night, the hospital started to get crowded. And one of the patients, I don't know the person's name. I don't know the person's sex. I really don't know anything about them. All I know is that they went to the hospital and overnight, their lungs completely filled with fluid. So it's one of those diseases that it's very fast acting and it's absolutely debilitating. So I was saying before, Okay, I'm just reading some more thing. I used to stream from Facebook. Yeah, I never did Facebook. I don't do Facebook either. So, but I have heard good things about that if you're using all iOS devices. And it's funny because the first time that Danny and I tried to do the live stream, we were using our iPhone, so we probably could have used that. But being that, I don't know, so many kinks to work out. And we were supposed to be joined by Peppy Techie, the Peppy Techie. And it's hard getting that woman to join you live. I don't know. It's hard to get a hold of her. I'm starting to think that she's not real. I'm starting to think she's a bot. Right, Danny? I'm kidding. Clearly, she's real. But I talked to a doctor today, and he's a friend of mine. And I asked him, frankly, like what he thinks. Does he think that it's possibly because how long can the country stay shut down? How long can people continue to be without a paycheck? And he's like, no. I'm like, what about this herd immunity? We'll let people out in stages. Okay, the young, you guys go out very first. You build the herd immunity. Then people that are like 5 years older, then will start going out. And he's like, it's the wrong thing to do because no matter what, those people are going to bring it home to their older people. A lot of people that are in their early 20s still live at home with their parents. So if they did that, they would come home and just pass it to the parents anyway. So he thinks that it's not going to be, 15 days to clean up the country. And that's that. This guy seems to think that we're going to be on lockdown for a minimum of 2 months. I mean, I can't fathom being shut down for 2 months. I can't. How would people that have no financial means, like say the majority of people live paycheck to paycheck. How could someone that lives paycheck to paycheck go for 2 months without a paycheck? My heart breaks for these people who work basically for cash, people like waiters, bartenders, waitresses, anyone that works in a cash business, anything that you do and you're depending on cash for tips. What are these people doing? Like, I feel awful for them. It's just, my heart breaks for them. But I grew up very poor, and when I was in my 20s, I was poor while I was getting myself together. So I know what it means to like live paycheck to paycheck, and it's hard. I can't imagine, being out of work for a few months and not getting a paycheck. In that position, I don't know what. I guess they're going to start sending checks to everybody, the good old government, but how long can that really go on? Trump's calling it the Chinese virus. And guess where we get all our money from? China. What if China turns around and says, yeah, so we created the virus? Well, guess what? We don't have any more money for you to borrow. What would we do then? I don't think that he thinks. I don't think that he thinks. So this is funny. When I was like in the 8th grade, I read his very first book, The Art of the Deal, and I thought he was brilliant because I was in the 8th grade. And when you read a book like that, you're convinced that that person is smart. But, I'm a little older now, and I read his subsequent books after that. I think the next one was The Art of the Comeback. And when I read The Art of the Comeback, I had a stunning realization that he was a con man. He was a business con man. And I'm not saying that to disrespect the president. I'm not. But even in the book, The Art of the Comeback, he even says, it's all marketing. It's how you sell yourself. And he was so far in debt. I think he was like $99 billion. I mean, some outrageous amount of money in debt. And he's like, when you're so far in debt, you don't have to worry about anything. The people you owe money to they're just going to have to figure it out for you. And that's exactly what he did. And they said to him, in order to pay this money back, because you can't, we're just going to sell your name. So that's why you see Trump names on all these buildings. They're not actually his buildings. They just sold his name to that building. And they get basically a commission off of the use of his name. And that's how he's able to pay those institutions back. I don't know why Deutsche bank lent him another 400 million. But okay, so let's see. We got another comment. At work, I've never had so many people ask for hand sanitizer in my entire life. I know many stores around me are closing. Yeah, you are. Well, I don't know if you're lucky that you work at a grocery store because it's a dangerous time and you like to be socially distant. But yes, it is good. It is fortunate that you still have a way to get a paycheck because there's so many people that don't. There's no way for them to get a paycheck, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, I think you're right, Danny, that this, of course, is going to definitely impact our lives. It's making a huge, like 9/11 left such an indelible mark on me. I almost joined the military. My dad talked me out of it because he was in Vietnam, but that left such an indelible mark on me that I can imagine the kids that are growing up today that this is going to be something else for them. So it makes me have greater respect for my great grandmother, who of course I have her picture right here. This is my great grandmother right here. Her name was Jadwiga Hritsai Chachakevich, and her husband, my great grandfather, died of the Spanish flu in 1918, and she was 25 years old. She had 5 kids, no money, and a husband upstairs dying of the Spanish flu, and she knew he was going to die. But this is what makes her so incredible. It was so rare to only have one person die in the house. Usually if somebody in the house got this Spanish flu, multiple people in the house started to die off. But somehow she managed to keep him quarantined upstairs and kept the kids away from him. And every time that she went to go feed him and bathe him and take care of him, she would leave the room, take her clothes off, scrub everything with whiskey, because back then they didn't really have cleaning agents like they have today. She just was using whiskey to scrub up. And somehow she kept that entire house completely safe. And he was the only one that passed away. But can you imagine how terrified she must have been? All alone, no money. Your husband's dead now, and you have 5 kids to take care of. And you're taking care of him? What if she got it? She had to be terrified that she would have gotten sick and died. She had to be like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to my kids if I die? I don't know how she did it. She was an amazing woman, my great-grandmother. But she's a long time passed away. She did pass away in the 60s. She had stomach cancer. So we're thinking it probably was something to do with the stuff from the farm that they used to fertilize the fields and stuff, because my uncle died of that as well. So, yep, my grandma was a farmer. And listen, back in 1918, when they had the Spanish flu and all these men were dropping dead, it wasn't uncommon that if your brother had a wife and he died, that you married the wife and took care of the kids. So it was amazing that she stayed single. So a priest one time, this is a funny story. After he died, my great-grandfather died, and my great-grandmother was all alone with all these kids, no money. You know, she took over the farm that they were running, that he was running, and she started running it herself. The priest comes to the house and knocks on the door, and she answers it, hello, Father. Of course, you don't not answer the door when the priest is a-knocking. And he's like, oh, he's talking to her, Jenny, called her Jenny. This is Mr. So-and-so. His wife died of the Spanish flu as well. And she's like he was trying to set my great-grandma up with this guy. So my grandma, nope, not having it. She goes, oh, excuse me, Father, wait. So she closes the door. She comes out of the door, chasing the priest with a broom and the guy off the porch. And she's like, nope, never come back here again. And hats off to her, because this was a time in our country where, hey, the government wasn't cutting checks and sending it to you. There was no food stamps. There was no housing. There was no Social Security. Back then, you either made it or you died. You either fed yourself and your kids, or you died, or you became a thief, a criminal, and lived a rough life like that. It just was, You either made it or you didn't back then. There was no, well, we're going to wait until Congress passes a stimulus plan and then we'll all get our checks. That's not how it rolled back then. That's why they were pretty tough back then, for sure. But so basically, this was just a little test to make sure that things were going okay on my end. So now that I know that, the microphone works, the camera works, the OBS studio works, it seems like YouTube works, that the hiccup for Danny and I had to have been the Google Hangouts is all I can say, because everything else seems to be going nice and smooth. So, I'm trying to read these, but I have to tell you, it's very difficult. So here we go. Mike McCainch, and you guys, Mike McCainch has a really good channel too. He does LumaFusion tutorials as well. I saw something on Facebook recently which said that the healthcare workers, grocery store employees, and first responders are more important than superstars and actors. They absolutely are, because right now, the only reason that we're able to eat is because people are in those stores, working the registers, stocking the shelves. People are driving the trucks to restock the stores. So those people are, each and every one of them, from, even the person who's mopping the floor at the grocery store, they're basically on the front line. They're the new first responders. Yes, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to the men and women who work in the hospitals, the nurses, the doctors, the practitioners, the MRI techs, the X-ray techs, everyone involved there. That's, how do you say thank you to people for saving your life? They're amazing, and we thank them. But there's also other people too, just staying out there when it's really not safe to be out there. Like I said, my brothers are out there. They own a mechanic shop in my hometown. And you would not think that they would be deemed, one of those companies that would be able to stay open, but you never think of, like, if you're a first responder, if your car breaks down, what are you going to do? Your tire goes flat, you don't have another tire, your spare is bad, what do you do? And that's why, they're deemed important, so they're open as well. They're very slow, though, I have to say. They said that, it's been really slow because, like I said, we're shelter in place. We're not supposed to leave our houses unless we're going to the doctor or unless we're going to get food. And that's it. They're 8 o'clock at night. You can't be out. You have to be in your house by 8 p.m. at night. So, or else they pull you over and want to know where you're going. Where you going? What you doing? And you guys, I can't believe that none of my cats have burst into the room yet. That's very surprising. But take a little quick drink of water. So anything going on in the comment section? Burns, yep. Yeah. So how are you guys doing as far as where your states are? I'd be interested to know, because I know there's not too many states that are sheltered in place. I think there might just be a handful. Out of the 50 states, I think that there's only probably, 18 states that are sheltered in place. Everybody else is just kind of out. I don't know if Kentucky is, Tennessee, all these other countries. What are they doing? Are they battening down the hatches? Are they taking it seriously? Because I think in order for this to work, we all need to batten down the hatches and stay in our house. That's what I think. If the heating breaks, yeah. Canada. Oh, you know what, Burns? For some reason, I thought you were in New York. Why did I think that? Oh, maybe it was somebody else on the chat, in the first chat that we were trying to do. I missed so many comments from the very first. Abigail Rivers said hi. You know what? I'm trying to not wear my glasses because it stinks, but I missed Abigail's hi, and she was like, hi. And then she said it again. She's like, hi. So hi, Abigail. I'm sorry. I didn't have my glasses on. And it's hard to see when you wear glasses, but you don't want to wear glasses because my the light is right there, and there'll be a huge glare on my, oh, Nevada. Okay, so hey, where in Nevada? Are you guys shelter in place, Abigail? Or are you free roaming? Because I think everyone should be sheltered in place for like the next couple of weeks. At least let's just try to, so like this is what happens when I don't have a script. And you guys know when I do the LumaFusion commercials, I don't have a teleprompter. There's no script. I just, boom, I hit record and then I go. And then with that, I lose train of thought. So I was saying earlier that I was talking to a doctor friend of mine today, and I was asking him about this herd immunity and what he thought about releasing people in waves so that we could get a herd immunity where everybody can get it. And this way, when you get it after a time, people can no longer get it from you. It's going to take a while to do, but he said absolutely bad idea, that everybody should be locked down at the same time, because it's just not going to work that way. People are going to commingle no matter what you do, and they're going to wind up getting a lot of people sick. And I said to him, well, listen, if you take for granted, because I thought about this, like how many, they're saying that like 50,000 people die of the flu every year. And in general, around the world, it's like, I think almost, no, I don't want to say exact, but I think it's like around 160,000 people die every day on Earth. And then there's like another 200,000 babies born every single day on Earth. I remember when I was in my early 20s and the Earth was getting to the point where there was like, I think like almost 6 billion or 7 billion. And it was like an unbelievable number. And now it's 9 billion. It is such an unbelievable. We have to understand, how long can the Earth sustain this amount of people? And is this Mother Nature trying to get rid of some of us? Is it Mother Nature just saying there's too many of you? You got to go? My mother always said it. And you guys don't know my mother, but she can be a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, but she is funny as hell. Very smart woman. And it's very strange because some of these weird conspiracies that she's had have come true. So I shouldn't say that. But she always said once every 100 years, there's either going to be a huge war or a huge illness that's going to wipe out people. It's a way to equalize out the globe. Can't have it one way or another. We got to get rid of people. And if the government can't get rid of people with war, then Mother Nature is going to take care of it. And she was right. It was like 1918 was the Spanish flu, and this is 2020, almost exactly 100 years. And my camera went out again, I think. So hold on a second. I don't know why it went out. There we go. I don't know why I did that. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do have like that weird timer on my Canon M50. So let me put on my camera went out, because there's a huge delay with the live stream. So am I out again? No, here we go. Okay. See, with the huge delay, I can't tell. I cannot tell what's going on with this huge delay, but there we go. Yep. So, yep. Shelter in place, everybody. And I guess do your part. Oh, Chris is here. Okay, Chris, hold on a second. Hey, Tammy, how are you? So great to see you on your channel. Yep. So this was, Chris, a funny story. And every time I say something, that stupid Google Home tries to go off, she keeps interrupting me. But I tried to go live earlier with my friend from Financial V. It was a disaster. It was terrible. So I just basically went live to see if it was, because I hosted it, if it was me, if it was my computer, if it was OBS, where was the lag coming from? And we know now, because this is okay, OBS is okay. My YouTube feed is okay. It had to be using Google Hangouts. So we need a better alternative. And Chris, what do you use to do your live streams? And have you hosted a live stream where you have more than one person? Because I know you recently just went live. And if you guys, Chris Pal2 Tech, he's got a really great channel as well. He is a master at the Fuji camera. So if you're interested in anything to do with Fuji, check out Chris's channel, Pal2 Tech. He's awesome. So yeah, if you could let me know what you use. Someone said Streamlabs. Is it Streamlabs OBS? Or they call it Slobs. Don't want to start a podcast. I guess I missed a lot of the comments, but yeah. Now I know I was somewhere else, and now I lost my train of thought. Okay, OBS. So okay, so that's what I'm using too right now, the OBS, and everything was working fine. When I went live with Danny from MVE, it was just terrible. It was embarrassing, Chris. It was just humiliating. It was just something, and I think it's like still posted. I better, Danny, we got to delete that off my videos, right? We can't leave that up. That was just humiliating. That's like a really bad date, you know, where everybody can see your really bad date, or you're on a really bad date, like your first date, and everybody in the restaurant knows it. They're all looking at you like, ooh, you can tell they're on a first date, and it's awkward, not good. It was one of those. So I totally need to delete that out of my videos. Do you want to start a podcast? I don't know. About what? If you wanted to start a podcast, what would you start a podcast about, Abigail? Be interesting to see. Who knows what people want to do? So I'm a little busy. I own a company, and I do this YouTube thing on my spare time, which is not a lot. Not a lot of spare time, so... But yeah. So Chris, when you did your live stream, did you have an incredible delay? Because the delay is just ridiculous. Burns, okay. Okay, hon. Gonna say, yes, Burns, thank you for joining me, honey. Good night. I hope it gets warmer up there in Canada. God bless, take care. Yes, okay, Danny, I am gonna erase that. Been there, done that restaurant. Yoga and fitness. Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, you should. Hey, Abigail, I don't know anything about yoga, and I probably know even less about fitness. Well, that's not true. I used to box when I was younger. Yeah, Burns, take care. Thanks for joining us. I was a boxer in my early 20s. This is really before girls were even boxing. Like, I was boxing before Layla Ali was even boxing. And it was rough because you didn't really have anybody to spar with. You were sparring with the guys, and they didn't want you in the gym, so they didn't respect you, so they would beat the hell out of you. And this guy, I was sparring with him, he hit me so hard that, and he gave me a liver shot. So he hit me, and it broke my floating rib. It pulled the muscles away from my rib cage. And I kept fighting because I didn't want to let him know that he significantly hurt me. And I stayed the rest of the time. I was working the speed bag, making like I was okay. Man, I left there. I cried like a girl, like a little girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had to go to the hospital because I thought I had internal bleeding. I really thought I was going to die. But he beat the shucks out of me. He beat the shucks out of me. And, oh, you're going live tomorrow night with OBS? Okay. Do you know what time, Chris? Because I definitely want to make sure that I want to catch your live show because I missed the last one. But yeah, the delay was ridiculous. When I was doing the last live stream with Danny, Danny's like, Tammy, have you looked at the delay? I'm like, what delay? He's like, look at the camera. He's like, you see, I'm wearing my headphones. He's like, I took those off like 3 minutes ago. It was very funny, but it was just a cluster bomb, my earlier one, an absolute cluster bomb. I just do small workouts and go to class, Abigail. I just kind of do small. Oh, okay, yeah. listen, if that's your thing, if you do yoga and fitness, and I think everybody should start something. So if you want to start a podcast or a YouTube channel about fitness or yoga, whatever it is that is your passion you like to do, I think everybody should do it. Go ahead, do it. What's to lose? Don't waste any time. Don't waste any time. Okay, Chris is not sure. 10:30. Chris is going to be okay. So everyone, 10:30 tomorrow. Go to Pal to Text channel because he's so funny, you guys. I can't explain how funny Chris is. His channel, every video, there's something hilarious in it and very cute and funny. So I'm looking very forward to that. You know who would be a really, obviously, someone who to get really good advice from would be Aaron Anderson, because he goes live like every week with that guy from Australia. I should have asked him because he's a pro at it. So, all right, guys. Well, this was just really a test run. I wanted to see how much it was me, how much I was messing up, but it actually wasn't me. It had to have been Google Hangouts. It's just incompatible with OBS, from OBS to YouTube, back through that way. So, yeah, Abigail, I 100% think you should make your own YouTube channel. I will be the first to subscribe if you do that. I think that would be awesome. Like, are you going to do your own little yoga things? Like, you're going to put a camera up and do yoga workouts? I would love to see that. Maybe I could even get into it because I think I should do something. I think I should do something because I'm getting older, and I know that I got to take better care of I got to quit smoking, and I have to take better care of myself. But at least I don't. All right. Look at that, Chris Burns. Subscribe to your channel. That's awesome. You won't regret it. He's very funny. He is very funny. Okay, so listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to get up and running and see if it was me or see what the heck was going on with this. And then, am I a singer too? No. No. No, not at all. I have a nice fancy microphone, but I'm not a singer. But no. So thank you so much. And I feel bad because this person just joined us and now I'm like getting the heck out of here. But I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and checking me out. And like I said, if you haven't had a chance to go check out Pal2 Text channel, do it. He's awesome. And I will catch you guys on the next live stream. Hopefully, I see Danny still in the conversation. Danny, once we'll find another way to go, I'm going to ask my friend Aaron Anderson, who goes live every week, what he uses for his platform besides OBS and YouTube to do that live stream with his friend. And then we'll find out what to do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I should watch it for the laughs because I should laugh. I am going to watch it before I delete it because I know it's hilarious. It's like Three Stooges, everyone running around and knocking stuff over. So I definitely am going to do that. So listen, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me and being patient through the very first one. And I will see you guys when I see you next time. Everyone, please stay safe. And please wash your hands for 20 seconds. So it's the happy birthday to me. Everybody knows that they have to sing happy birthday to me when they're washing their hands. And by the time you're done with that, then you can rinse off your hands. So, oh, Burns, don't delete it. No, I have to. I'm going to watch it and then I'm going to delete it because I'm sure it's not good at all. Danny, you show that to your family? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. And please stay safe. If you're feeling sick, call your doctor. Tell them what your symptoms are. Try to stay away from other people if you start feeling sick. But you need to reach out to your healthcare professional. And my God, don't take anything that is not prescribed to you. please, somebody out in Arizona drank chloroquine because they heard Trump talking about chloroquine was the new magic thing. It was going to cure this thing because he feels very strongly. He feels very strongly. And it's going to work very quickly. He feels very strongly about it. You have to watch out for your messaging when you're the president because people literally drank chloroquine, something that you would use in your fish tank. And the husband passed away and the wife is in critical condition. Don't take anything unless it's prescribed to you by your doctor. I can't be more serious. Even if you have old antibiotics hanging around the house and you think it's okay to take, there's things that you shouldn't take with this particular illness because it can accelerate it. They're even saying that it's a possibility that ibuprofen can even make this thing a little worse. So if you're feeling ill and you have a suspicion that you might have this, please call your healthcare professional, communicate with them. Don't just start taking stuff in your medicine cabinet and, oh, what does this one have left over from the dentist's? I mean, okay, if something's left over from the dentist, chances are it's painkillers. I'm sure that's fine. God knows I've been taking a few painkillers since I've been in lockdown. I didn't just say that. But, okay. All right. Yeah. All right, guys, I appreciate you for joining me, and I will see you either at the next tutorial or I probably am going to see a bunch of you at Chris's live stream tomorrow because it looks like everybody's going to be there, which is going to be awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, wear your sunblock and wash your hands. Take care.